Hi, and welcome to today's episode of Ask Vivian. We're back with Jamie Kreitman, fashion designer, and today is our second episode in the series of what it takes to become a fashion designer. And Jamie, so tell us a little bit about your process.
Well, I'm not the best sketcher. However, I love fabrics and I love yarns. So when I start, I will research my fabrics, I'll research silhouettes, and I'll put together different types of combinations of fabric, of trim, and then I'll do a little sketch that's not a gorgeous illustration, but something to work with, and then I'll start draping on the mannequin like this to see how everything falls and everything works together.
And if I can just interrupt you a little bit, we do part of our Design Diva program is we talk a little bit about fashion illustration, and I was not an illustrator, and I did more merchandising. Jamie is more design, and we'll talk about that in later series. But I worked off of computers, and I did basically flat production type sketches. And illustration is something that you don't need to be proficient in. A lot of young people feel that if they don't sketch properly, they're never going to become a fashion designer. And Jamie's, saying that that's not true. Jamie worked on a draping aspect. So I just wanted to bring that to light to all of our followers that while sketching is nice and it's pretty, it has to be functional, and working in a creative mode just like this is equally as impressive. So
right, because it's the end product that you have to present, not your sketch. And the sketching is good to understand how to capture draping and silhouette and understanding the body. But the bottom line is working with your mannequin, understanding the body, understanding fabric and fabric technology. That's the crucial crux of fashion design.
Right. Now, Jamie was a knitwear designer, sweaters and knitwear, and that's actually how we met in the knit industry. And again, I also have to stress, when we do teach sewing, the understanding of fabrics is something that is experiential. It's very hard to read it. You can't read about the drape of something or how something actually falls on a mannequin. So there is this whole aspect of understanding fabrics that we introduce to our students when we start sewing. Sewing is a requirement of the fashion industry. People think that you sketch something pretty, but as Jamie just said, you do have to produce it, and that's where the sewing aspect comes in. Is there anything else you'd like to tell our watchers about design?
That being hands-on and knowing how to sew will get you through many situations in fashion design, and then if you pursue it as a career in guiding whatever company you work for, be it someone else's or your own, and producing.
I'm glad you said that, because the production, remember, garments have to fit. And it's something, again, we speak to all the time, is how the garments have to fit you. And the sewing will save you if you do start your own business. Sample costs are crazy expensive. I mean, they were hundreds of dollars to produce a sample. So it's all the better to understand fitting through sewing. Certainly pattern making is important. But yeah.
And you can be inspired as you work on your sewing machine.
Good point.
And for me as well on my knitting machine. So as you work along and you're feeling the fiber, you're feeling the fabric, you're seeing the stitches come to life, that inspires you further to possibly alter or change the design or switch it up a bit.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So today we're done with our session today, and Jamie will be back for session 3 where she's going to talk to us about mood boards and trend boards and how do you get all those pieces of inspiration, the fibers and the fabrics that you might be interested in. How do you make that into a cohesive statement so then you can start your design process? So thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Jamie,
You're very welcome.
Tune in again.